Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello, and welcome to the best damn Warhammer 40,000 show on the internet. I am your host, John, and this week we'll be doing anything but being serious. No, I'm joking. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks so much for being here. As always, we are in episode 204 of looking at community-submitted army lists. We do this pretty much every Sunday night. We try, I say we because you guys in chat have to help, on improving user-submitted lists. We're looking at like six lists. We're looking at 6 lists tonight, which is, or 6 or 7. We always look at about 6 or 7. You can leave comments. I'll try and read them. You can give your opinions on the list, and if you want your list on a future show, it's pretty simple, right? Like, you just put your list in the comments of this show, and members get priority. So if you've got a green name, thank you so much for everybody that has a green name. You guys support the channel. You let me do what I love as a basically second job. So thank you so much. So you guys get priority. Or you could do massive super chats like Speargrass. Hello, good evening, Speargrass. But yeah, good evening everyone else in chat. Thank you for being here. Morning, John. I played a game on the weekend against Knights. On the drive over, I listened to your sage advice, I set up and used it, and I won 65-62. Thanks. As always, I enjoy the shows. Dude, thanks so much for the super chat. It's so cool. This is like a perverted pleasure of mine. It is so cool when other Blood Angels players beat other armies because I've given them some advice or I've done some maths and let you get the edge on another army. That really tickles. I like tickles my feet. I don't know the phrase I'm trying to say, but I really like, you know that phrase in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Captain Holt was like, vindication. You know, that's the sort of perfect super chat to open the show. So thank you so much. So let's get into tickles my fancy. Is that the phrase I'm looking for? Thank you. So last week, Bad Francis, yeah, you messaged at the end of the show saying that you'd been waiting ages. So I thought we'd open this week's show with Bad Francis's list to prove that I do have a heart. A black and dead heart, but I have one. Alright, so, hello John, I first submitted this list after watching you for nearly 3 years. Company heroes and captain, and a blade guard and a chaplain are in 2 impulsors. You know what, I played this exact combo to a tournament in Liberator Assault Group. I thought it was pretty fun because you just basically roll forward with 2 impulsors and you put them on 2 side field objectives, and it is pretty scary because company heroes are pretty good at shooting out of an impulsor, i.e. the whole squad and the captain get to shoot. Blade guard shooting out of an impulsor is meh at best. But company heroes are good at shooting out the impulsor, and then you get the charge potential from both units, in Liberator Assault Group. So, alright, let's have a look at this list. So we've got the captain, who's with those company heroes. We've got the fight first chaplain, who's with the blade guard. We've got Dante, we've got the combi weapon lieutenant. Cool. We obviously have the 2 impulsors. We have 2 units of jump intercessors, a 5. Very common to see 2 units of jump intercessors in Liberator Assault Group. 2 ballistic dreadnoughts, again, pretty common to see in Liberator Assault Group. I think they're decent picks. They don't need oath of the moment, typically at the beginning of the game. You've got the 6 blade guard, you've got the 5 company heroes, you've got a lancer in there to add even more fire support. You've got infiltrators for the backfield. You've got outriders for like early flanking or early just a little bit of aggression, I guess. Quite good in Liberator Assault Group with strength 7 on the charge for the outriders. You've got Sanguinary Guard and a 6 and a 9, so a 6 and a 3 for 9 total. So that'll give you 6 with Dante and then 3 potentially unled. That's fine. I mean, you could go either way, but I'd probably attach the 6 to Dante, and I'd probably put that unit in strategic reserve every single game. I'd probably put 1 unit of jump intercessors into reserve as well. That's probably what I would do with this list. And then you've got the scouts. You've gone heavy on the combat knives, which is the correct loadout for Liberator Assault Group. The missile launcher is fine. Take the missile launcher; it's worth it. So yeah, this is a pretty standard pretty standard Liberator Assault Group tournament list. Like, this is very, very similar to the Liberator Assault Group list that I played in, like, January to a tournament. I think the only difference might have been was I took a second jump captain to attach to the second Sangry Guard, and I took maybe, like, a Predator tank, a Ballistus Dreadnought, and a Vindicator tank, as opposed to 2 Ballistus and a Lancer. But that's just because I love Vindicator tanks, and Vindicator tanks are great. But maybe I had to give up like 1 squad of jump intercessors to do that, because Vindicator tanks are more expensive. Matt says, "Hi John, I won a mini tournament 1K playing melee only Blood Angels. Was super refreshing to take a list I'd made and wanted to play. Your videos have been a big help." Well done, Matt. Winning a tournament, regardless of the number of points, is still refreshing, and there is something to be said about building your own lists, right? Like, I think building your own lists is fun, and I think that's one of the reasons that I like doing this show, is like, because people always come up with new, fun ideas. So yeah, I think this is a good list. Like, you've got the 2 impulsors to push forward. You can back that up with bikes. When the impulsors inevitably die, the company heroes spill out. They're pretty good in melee. You can get the double precision. Not many people use the double precision, but I just think people forget about it, because the company heroes in Liberator Assault Group, double precision is bonkers, right? You get like 15 attacks if you pop Finest Hour, because your captain has 5, plus 3 from Finest Hour, plus 1 from charging, so that's 9. And then the company champion with the... Let me think about this for a second. The company champion with the sword, I feel like he gets like 6 attacks. I feel like it was 15. Maybe I'm wrong. No, so he does get 6 attacks. So he gets 7 attacks. So you actually get 16. With the cap, because you pay the 1 CP or you do it for free with your captain, right? And then because this guy's got precision as well, the company heroes give you 16 attacks in Liberator Assault Group, hitting on 2s. These ones are strength 7. The captain, because he's got the power fist, is strength 10. But they're all AP 2 damage. And it's just 16 precision, which you can do for free as well, because you don't have... because the captain leads the unit and gives you that free stratagem. And I think a lot of people forget that. And when I've used it, like 16 hitting on 2s, probably wounding enemy characters on 2s or 3s. Like, it's just a lot. Like, you'll just precision out any character you want. I mean, the only character you're maybe not precisioning out is, like, a Lord of Vigilance and the Death Shroud Terminators or something. But for the most part, you can just precision out anything with that. You got the Lancer, which is obviously good against anti-tank. You got the Ballistuses, which are good against anti-tank and also have a little bit of versatility with, like, you know, frag missiles when you're fighting against Orc Hordes or something. You've got the Infiltrators for protecting the home field. There's not too, like... This is a good list. Like, I don't think there's much that needs improved in this list, honestly. Like, at this point, it's personal preference, right? Like, personal preference for me is, like, I like a Vindicator tank over the Lancer. And then, possibly, the only other personal preference there is, like, my list had a captain leading the second squad of Sangry Guard, and I didn't have the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. But the Combi Weapon Lieutenant is very good at scoring, and he also... He can used right, he can force your opponent to come out and overcommit units because they have to try and kill them. So yeah, this list is totally viable. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this list. The fight first, the fact you've got the fight first and the Blade Guard, just remember when you disembark from the transport, you disembark 3, you can move 6, then you can play your CP for advance and charge. So the Blade Guard are very, very fast coming out of that that transport, and they can reroll their ones anyway because they don't need it at the moment. So yeah, I think it's a great list. Like, I would play this. The only thing, like I said, the only thing my personal preference is I've got 2 Lancers. I don't really like Lancers myself, but I think the problem with Lancers, in my opinion, is they do one of 2 things. They obliterate the enemy, or they do nothing. Whereas it just feels like the Vindicator tank is a little bit more consistent. But you know, that's what it is, right? Hasbeen says, I love this list. Sterngrass said, I loved using the Stern Guard captain with a rage-fueled warrior in an impulsor. He can pop out Oath of Moment a knight on his own. Had Mephiston in there too, and it's a dead big knight when they charge. Yeah, I mean, rage-fueled warrior when you roll some sixes is pretty bonkers, right? And Mephiston's smite, again, when you roll some sixes is pretty bonkers. So, no, I think it's good, Bad Francis. I don't think you need to tweak much. You could look at the list I did in January. It'll be on the channel. It'll be like, I went 3 and 2 in a Liberator Assault Group list in January. It's super similar to that, but I honestly think there's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, next list. Johnston Tom 1. Also playing Liberator Assault Group. We've got the Rageful Captain. We've got a Jump Pack Captain with Icon of the Angel. I actually think Icon of the Angel is a really bad enhancement, and I would never take it. Like, I don't know what it gives you. I mean, I know what it gives you in terms of the rules. I just don't think it gives you anything strong. I think it's just a waste of 20 points, honestly. You've got a Judasar with the Gift of Foresight. You've got a Lieutenant with the Combi Weapon. You've got a Sanguinary Priest. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, Icon of the Angel, I think you just... I mean, the only reason to take it is that you have 20 points left and they've got literally nothing else to take, because it's dog shit. You've got a squad of Intercessors. You've got 2 Impulsors again. You've got 2 Jump Intercessors again. We've got a Ballistus Dreadnought, 6 Blade Guard, 3 Blade Guard, a Lancer, Outriders, 6 Sanguinary Guard, 3 Sanguinary Guard. A lot of people are doing 6 and 3 Sanguinary Guard now. I think that's the best way to run them. I like that. I tried the 3 squads of 3 for a while. I'm off that. I'm a big fan of 6 and 3. You've got the Scouts, and then you've got that Stern Guard Veteran squad. So the Stern Guard Veterans are obviously going to be with the Rage-Fueled Captain. I think he's actually putting the Sanguinary Priest with that unit as well, because there's not much else that the Sanguinary Priest can attach to. So they'll be in an Impulsor. Your Intercessors potentially will be... Oh no, I guess it would be the 6 Blade Guard that's probably in the other Impulsor with the Judasar. You've got the Captain, the Jump Captain, with the 6 Sanguinary Guard. You've got the Lieutenant with Combi Weapon. You've got some sticky objectives. You've got a couple of Impulsors to roll forward. You've got a couple of Jump Intercessors. You got a little bit less anti-tank in 1 Ballistus and 1 Gladiator. And that's... You know, if you'd shown me this like a few months ago, I might have been saying, like, I don't know if I like this list because 1 Ballistus Dreadnought and 1 Gladiator Lancer, it's only 300 points of shooting. I don't know if I feel like that is enough shooting in terms of, like, overall impact. Hello, Jason. Good evening. Hello, Calgar. Hello, Vintage Flanker. Nice of you guys to drop by. If you do get 2 seconds tonight, guys, we've got 30 people in the chat. We've got 10 likes on the video. So, I don't know what it is about you guys. Like, see, when I watch YouTube, maybe this is just me because I have a channel. When I see anyone else's video that I remotely like, even for like 1 second, I'm like, yeah, I'll like that video. But you guys just don't click the damn like button. Like, so click it. I just need to shout at you, I guess. Please click like button. Please. I'm begging you. Okay. I think it's probably because I've got a channel, or I'm just a sucker to give people... I want other people to be successful, so I always give them their likes. Okay. Yeah, so maybe like a few months ago I'd have said like 1 Ballistus Dreadnought, 1 Gladiator Lancer is not enough shooting, but we just saw somebody win a tournament with no shooting, so... I guess the argument that you need 3 vehicles in Liberator Assault Group, I guess, is a distinct style of playing Liberator Assault Group, but you don't have to adhere to that. If you just want to do no vehicles in Liberator Assault Group, you can make that work 100%. 2 Impulsors is good. Blood Angels suck for units that are durable. Like, we just don't have units that are durable that have invulnerable saves that are going to stand on objectives. That is something that we do not have. Impulsors are that, and they're 80 points. And, you know, in my last couple of games, I think I played Ultramarines a few weeks ago. Turn 1, I lost an Impulsor. I played Death Guard this week. Turn 1, I lost an Impulsor. But if all I'm losing is an Impulsor for 80 points in turn 1, I'm feeling pretty good about things, right? Because it's like, okay, I lost an 80-point Impulsor, but that consumed all my opponent's shooting. I have to put some stuff out into the open. If I put out something worth more points than 80, maybe I'd be upset. And there's other times where in games I've put that Impulsor out turn 1 and then I've spiked a bunch of 5-up saves. I haven't done that the last couple of weeks. And the Impulsor just lives, right? Like, you just spike 2 or 3 5-up saves and it's like, You did like 6 damage to Impulsor turn 1. Cool. That's all you did in turn 1? Let me get on with the game, you know? So I like having 2 Impulsors in... I like it in Liberator Assault Group. I like it in Angelic Inheritors. That's just how I like to roll. So the rest of the units are cool. The Stern Guard with the Captain is a cool idea. The Blade Guard with the Judiciar is totally fine. Jump Intercessor is obviously totally fine. The one big mistake for me is Icon of the Angel, right? So you've got this with a Captain with a bunch of Sangre Guard. So like a Captain and a bunch of Sangre Guard jump in, and when in Liberator Assault Group, when you jump in with a Captain and a Sangre Guard, you've got like 35 attacks. Probably most of them at strength 9, right? Because the Captain's giving you +1. So you've got 35, 2 damage, AP 3 attacks. Why the hell do you need each time an enemy with engagement range, excluding monsters and vehicles, is trying to fall back, they need to make a desperate escape? Like, what infantry unit are you not killing with the 35 AP 3 2 damage attack Sangre Guard that is going to want to desperate escape from you? That is going to want to fall back from you, I guess. Like, I just don't think that's worth 20 points. So I would be trying to find a way to get those 20 points elsewhere. Like, annoyingly in this list, if you had 5 more points, you could have changed that out for Speed of the Primarch. Fight first for that unit of Sangre Guard. Holy shit, that's valuable. Like, in this list, I think what I'd probably actually do is, like, change this to Icon of the Angel and lose Gift of Foresight from the Judiciar. Like, I think that's more valuable. Like, my whole squad of Sangre Guard being able to fight first than the Judiciar getting 1 dice that can become a dev wound, right? So get this the hell out of the list. It's not worth it. Even if Gift of Foresight is going to be like 15 points, I think it is. So even though it's going to change your list to like 1990 points, your list will be better if you get rid of Icon of the Angel, replace that with Speed of the Primarch, and drop Gift of Foresight. I don't think there's much you can do with other 10 points. You could also argue that the Sangre Priest is not a great character to have with just 5 Stern Guard. I guess he gives them a little bit of AP and melee. I guess he gives them a 5-up Feel No Pain. If it was a 10-man Stern Guard, maybe. And the 5-man, ugh. That's probably the other weak point in this list. But I just don't find the Sangre Priest meaningful enough, right? Like, essentially all he is doing is giving those Stern Guard Chainsword equivalents. Which we can do better with Assault Intercessors, because they got more, like, you're paying 75 points for a 5-up Feel No Pain on 10 wounds. So statistically, a 5-up Feel No Pain is like... So you're paying 75 points to basically give that unit Chainswords. Like, they go from AP 0 to AP 1, which is meh at best, I guess. And then you're getting 3 more wounds. So at that point, just drop the fucking Sangre Priest and just take 5 more Assault Intercessors on foot. That gives you 10 more wounds, and all those guys still have Chainswords, and your Stern Guard still have the weapon they had before, which was just 1 AP less. Right? Like, this guy just doesn't make sense at 75 points. I don't understand why he is good. I think he needs more. Like, he was good with Vanguard Veterans when they could jump pack around. I just don't... And again, I think he was good in 10-man squads. I just don't see him. I just don't see his value, personally, in a 5-man squad. Okay. Mike says his hands are busy painting, so he can't hit the like button. Can you not hit it with your nose, Mike? Leviathan says, keep doing what you're doing, you're the best. I appreciate that. He needs the 5-up Feel No Pain ability or the Apothecary Resurrect. I think the Apothecary Resurrect would have probably been more valuable on him, honestly. Because and here's the thing, the Apothecary is only 50 points, man. So I think the Apothecary is a better character, and he's basically a third cheaper or something like that, right? You hit the like button with your brush. There you go. Thanks so much. Alright, William9557. He's playing Angelic Inheritors. Cool, because nobody ever does Angelic Inheritors lists, it feels like. Alright, what has he got? Let's get rid of some of the bump. Alright, we've got a captain plus 6 angry guard with lethals and lance. We've got Judasar and blade guard for some anti-charge threat. I hate blade guard and Angelic Inheritors, but we'll come to that. We've got sticky, we've got lots of plasma, we've got infiltrators, we've got vindicators and lancers, we've got dedicated anti-tank and incursors to get them hitting on 2s, and Mephiston for lone op shenanigans. And Andy Bry? Andy Bry, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Dude, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate it. We do have a members portal, a members Discord. So exclamation mark Discord in chat, and you can come join us in the members only room. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Alright, so we got Mephiston. We know what he has a standard loadout. We have that Apothecary we were just talking about. I imagine he's going to be with Hellblasters. Yeah, he's going to be with 10 Hellblasters. That's the thing though, right? Like, if you attach an Apothecary with Hellblasters, and you're like, cool, that's a pretty strong squad, it's pretty sad to not want to attach the Sanguinary Priest, right? And the Sanguinary Priest is 75 more points, oh sorry, 25 more points, and you're like, the default Apothecary is just better. I don't know. The Sanguinary Priest needs a redone, a rethink of his rules. Maybe we need Corbolo to come back with a fucking jump pack, and then we'll be good, right? If the Sanguinary Priest could join Blade Guard, they would be awesome. Yeah, do you know what? That's okay. Yeah, I'm on board. If you could join Blade Guard and make their swords AP 3 and make them 5 up Feel No Pain, then I'm all over him. And then I think he's probably strong at 75 points. But at the moment, I think he's really weak at 75 points, and I just want to avoid him. Okay, we've got Captain with a jump pack. I mean, change your captain weaponry, right? Like, you don't want to have a chainsword and a heavy bolt pistol. You want a power fist, and you want a plasma pistol. Or you can do, like, a relic weapon and a flamer, but you definitely don't want the chainsword and the bolt pistol. It's honestly almost a troll that that's even an option. Like, why is that even an option for a captain? Who on earth is taking that as an option for a captain? That is GW trolling us, like, troll. Like, no one should ever take that. I think it's like a trap. It's like the default it's like the default in the battle editor, but it's just a trap. It's like it's utter shit. Alright, you get the Death Company captain. You gave him the right weapon. So I think if you gave him the right weapon, you probably just missed it and overlooked it. But yeah, get this guy the right weapon as well. You've got the Judasar, and then you've got Lieutenant. And I think the reason that, as far as I'm aware, the Lieutenant here will be because he's going to go with the Apothecary, and they're going to both go with the Hellblasters. So, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Did he say who the Lieutenant's attached to? No. Alright, we've got 6 Blade Guard, we've got 5 Death Company with jump packs, we've got 5 Devastators, so I actually think maybe he's attaching an Apothecary to the Devastators and maybe the Lieutenant to the Hellblasters, so he gets lethals on the Hellblasters, he keeps reviving the Devastators. I assume he's doing las cannons on the Devastators, he didn't say. You've got the Incursors to give +1 to hit, you've got Infiltrators to screen your backfield, you've got 6 Sanguinary Guard to attach to this Jump Captain. Obviously, these 5 Jump Death Company will attach to the other Death Company captain. You've got a Lancer, you've got a single Vindicator, you've got a Drop Pod. I would be trying to change the Drop Pod to an Impulsor. I don't like the Drop Pod rules. I don't like the new Drop Pod. I think the size of it is too big. I think an Impulsor is just more useful. It has OC, it has some shooting, it has an invulnerable save. I think with the size of that new footprint of the Drop Pod, I think where you put it is going to be limited. So I would say that as well. So Apothecary plus the Devastating Marines of Plasma Cannons. Oh, it's a perfect choice for this list. I have no idea the profile of a Plasma Cannon. Devastators with Plasma Cannons? I'm going to say that you overcharge them, they're going to be Strength 9, AP 3, 3, or something like that. Oh, they're only 2? Oh, that's disappointing. So you get D3 shots per guy. Blast. So it's like 8 shots. But they're heavy. I don't think that's very good, actually. If it was 3 damage, maybe. But I mean, like, for the 36 inches, you're going to be wanting to stand still. It's only strength 8. It's only 4s to hit. I guess your incursors and that maybe help with that. I don't really rate. I don't think the plasma cannons are a very good choice, honestly. Or maybe I'm missing something. That just doesn't seem that good. When Inceptors do flat 3 damage in twin linked. It's 170 points for 4d3 shots. Blast and ignore cover and will hit on 3s if stationary. What lets them ignore cover? Oh, do Devastators have a rule? Oh yeah, if Devastator stands still, they ignore cover. I think that's their rule, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe the Devastator squad is cool. So you actually put the Apothecary with them as well, and you're trying to take the blast, you're trying to have them stand still. I assume you're trying to use the wings of the Great Angel on them so they can't be targeted back, or under the shadow of the Great Angel stratagem that makes them lone operative. So you've got 4d3 plasma shots. And what does the... Oh, and then once per battle after making a hit roll, you can change a hit to 6. I mean, that's minor. We've been saying that for like a year now. About the Blade Guard, yeah, probably. I really don't know why you can't join Blade Guard, because his base size is the same size, right? It's not like he's I guess Games Workshop are worried about balance, but I mean, are they really worried about balance? Because every new army comes out super overtuned. I don't know why that's not an option. I really don't know. There isn't a good melee unit for the Sanguinary Priest to attach to. Like, the only thing you can attach to is guys with chainswords. Whoop-de-doo. They're chainswords, right? So, the Plasma Cannon Devastator squad with an Apothecary is an interesting choice, I guess. I don't know if it's my favourite, but Devastators can work. If you're bringing them back to life, if you're getting blast on every number of shots, they will deal with elite infantry. I mean, Hellblasters do that every week. So yeah, alright, we'll say the Devastator squad is okay. The Hellblasters with lethal hits is pretty cool. The Death Company Jump Marines are fine. The Sanguinary Guard led by the Captain is decent as well, obviously, because the Captain gives them extra strength to make them strength 7. The one thing, the Intercessors are good for sticky. Mephiston is good in Angelic Inheritors. The one thing I really want to... There's 2 things I don't like about this list. I really don't like drop pods. I think they're hard to play. I think an Impulsor is just a much safer choice. And it's also a more mobile choice that can do actions, and it just brings more to the battlefield. And then the second thing, having played at a tournament with Angelic Inheritors, and I think my tournament list had Blade... Well, I know my tournament list had Blade Guard for sure. I really didn't like them in Angelic Inheritors, and the reason I didn't like them was because they are strength 5. So when I was fighting against enemy Terminators, I was either wounding on 4s or 5s. When I was fighting against any sort of vehicles, I was wounding on 6s most of the time. And I just felt like this is a unit that benefits oh so much from the +2 strength in Liberator Assault Group, right? Because if they hit strength 7, then if you give them +1 to wound in any way, shape or form, they pretty much wound everything in the game on 4s. They have a weight of attacks, like 6 Blade Guard in Liberator Assault Group is 30 attacks. Wounding on 4s isn't great, but if you've got 30 attacks, it's good enough, right? Like, they're going to need to make a good number of saves. You have less attacks in Angelic Inheritors, and you have 2 less strength, which means these guys can't kill. Like, they just can't. They just bounce off far too many. Basically, anything T6 or higher. These guys struggle so much with an Angelic Inheritors, and you do not want to really be using your +1 to wound strat / lethal hit strat on them, because Angelic Inheritors, you need that strat on your Sanguinary Guard or your Death Company. So the problem I have with these guys is they just can't kill. And here's the thing, in the tournament I played with, I actually had the Chaplain with them with +1 to wound all the time, right? Because the Chaplain gives them +1 to wound all the time, whereas the Judiciar doesn't. He gives them fight first. So I had my Blade Guard with a +1 to wound Chaplain, thinking that was going to make up for the crappy low strength that they have. Spoiler, it did not, and I did not like this unit. And actually, having played at that tournament, I also had Outriders in my list. Again, Outriders, just strength 5. I don't like them in Angelic Inheritors. I just think strength 5 is not meaningful enough. I'm not using them anymore in Angelic Inheritors. So the takeaway I would have from this list is, like, the Blade Guard are probably going to underperform, and you're paying 230 points for them to underperform. And you've also got Drop Pod, which is difficult to play. So you probably, in this list, you could do something like drop the Blade Guard, drop the Drop Pod, drop the Judiciar, right? I think that saves like 300 points, give or take. Yeah, 300 on the nose. So what could you do with 300 points? You could basically have like 2 units of 3 Sanguinary Guard unled. You could make that happen. You could even do 2 units of 3 Sanguinary. I was going to say, you've got nothing else to put in an Impulsor, though. You could do an Impulsor and a 5-man squad of Hellblasters in the Impulsor. And I think you would still have room there for 3 unled Sanguinary Guard as well, right? Impulsor is 80. Hellblasters for 5 is 110. Hellblasters for 5 is 110? I'm saying that out loud, I think that's right. I should know. I've got 2 Hellblasters. I've got 2 5-man Hellblaster squads in my list for Angelic Inheritors at the moment, right? Yeah. So that's what I would do. I would be like, lose the Blade Guard, lose the Judiciar, lose the Drop Pod, add Impulsor, 3 Sanguinary Guard, 5 Hellblasters. In my opinion, that is much better. Just because, yeah, a good example is Knights, right? You're playing against Knights. Your Blade Guard only wound Armigers on 5s. They only wound all other Knights on 6s. These guys do nothing. Like, if you only wound on 6s, it doesn't matter how many attacks you have. You do nothing, right? Because you can quite often throw 30 dice and get no 6s. I don't like unled Sanguinary Guard in Assault Intercessors. That's fair, but they are still useful, and they are still cheap, and they are still strength 6 when they're unled. And they are AP 3 and 2 damage. So strength 6 means they can kill Terminators. They can also do actions, because they're nice and cheap, 110 point unit. Yeah, I get they're sometimes better led. I get that. But it can work. So that's my opinion. Okay. If we had Rhinos, a Sanguinary Priest with 10 Assault Intercessors would be nice. I don't think it would be, though, right? Just because it's really low strength. Like, it's just strength 6, man. And it's just 1 damage. And it's not like Assault Intercessors have any sort of survivability. In Angelic Inheritors, are Terminators with Chain Fists the better choice than Blade Guards? Well, I don't necessarily think it needs to be Chain Fists. It could be Power Fists, right? But just my opinion of Strength 5 weaponry in Angelic Inheritors is it's just not good enough, right? It just isn't. There's far too many things that are like, if you're Strength 5, you're going to be wounding on 5s. Here's a good question for you. Do you remember when Liberator Assault Group only gave you 1 strength? So like Blade Guard went from like Strength 5 to Strength 6, and Assault Intercessors went from Strength 4 to Strength 5, because that's what the rule was at the start of the edition. And do you remember how terrible Blood Angels were? Like, we were fucking terrible when we only got +1 strength, +1 attack. Because remember when they changed it to +2 strength, +1 attack, a lot of people were like, that's not going to do it, we're still going to be terrible. And that was a meaningful break point, going up that 1 more point of strength, I feel like. So, back at the start of edition, when all of our Liberator Assault Group strengths were 1 less, we were terrible. So take that into mind, I think, when trying to build an Angelic Inheritors list. Disclaimer, everything I say is my opinion. You are happy and welcome to disagree with me, and, you know, let's move on. It's Bloodlines. I think I saw you in the chat a minute ago, Bloodlines. Excuse me. This is a list I've been tinkering with. A Blood Angels captain with a Stern Guard in the Repulsor Executioner, a Jump Chaplain with 3 Sangre Guard, the Sanguiner, the Death Company with Lamartas in reserve. This is my attempt at trying to fit a Repulsor Executioner in instead of an Impulsor, since I like the idea of having a transport tank. Thank you. The Repulsor Executioner is an interesting one, because it's basically the points of a Impulsor and a Lancer in one. And like, it's a weird one, right? Because the Impulsor Executioner wants to be close to drop stuff off, but it's also got a 72-inch laser or something like that on top of it, so it wants to be far away and sit far away and shoot. So it's a bit of a confused tank, honestly, the Executioner, which is probably the reason that we don't see too many people take it. And then when people do take it, chat will say like, why are you taking the Executioner? Because what I just said, right? You can have an Impulsor and a Lancer for kind of the same points. I'm okay with the Executioner. I just think it's a hard unit to play right. How's that different from a Land Raider? Well, I think the difference probably is that the Land Raider has the assault ramp, so you can move 10 inches, disembark, and then charge, which gives your units inside additional movement, essentially. And the Land Raider also has a 2-up save, which means you can be somewhat more aggressive with it. Not a ton more aggressive, but somewhat more aggressive, because you just have more chance of surviving. Okay, so we've got the Rage Captain, we've got Jump Captain with Gifted Foresight, we've got Mephiston, Dante, Lamarta as the Sanguinar. I feel like that's a lot of characters for Liberator Assault Group, honestly. Yeah. Like, I guess we'll see what else we got, but that's a lot of characters, and personally, I think the Sanguinar, for me, always seems to underperform in Liberator Assault Group, and so does Mephiston, so it's risky taking both those characters, right? Because there are a lot of points, and they are quite risky in that, like, most of the time, like, I'd say 75% of the time, they don't pop off, right? Like, occasionally they do pop off. Like, you know, I had a bloat drone charge into one of my units, the Sanguinar arrives, he murderizes the bloat drone, he does 10 devastating wounds to it, boom, job's good, Sanguinar jumps off, kills something else. Like, that's happened once. How many times have I played the Sanguinar? Like 20 times, right? So it's like, when he pops off, great. But like, most of the times, he comes in and he kills a single infantry model and then goes, I missed a bunch of attacks, I failed to wound a bunch of attacks. It's not like he's got very high strength, right? He's got like strength 6 when he comes in or something. And typically when he comes in, he's not going to come in against your Oath of Moment targets, so you're probably going to miss a couple. So you miss a couple, you fail to wound a couple. That's why I think Mephiston and the Sanguinar are just much better characters in Angelic Inheritors. Because rerolling ones to hit and rerolling ones to wound, I think adds a ton of reliability to both of them. And I don't think that they have that reliability necessarily in Liberator Assault Group. We've got Jump Intercessors times 1. We've got Battle Predator. We've got 10 Death Company Marines there with Lamartas in reserve. Cool. We've got the Lancer. We've got Infiltrators. We've got an Executioner. We've got 2 small units to Sangre Guard. 3s. We've got the Squad of Scouts. We get the Stern Guard. So usually when we talk about Liberator Assault Group, right? We talk about, like, or at least my opinion is, to make a really good Liberator Assault Group list, you need 4 big melee threats. Like, melee threats that are super scary and can do a lot of damage. So you've got Lamartas plus 10. I would say that's 1 for sure. You have this Stern Guard plus the Captain, the Rage Captain. I would say that's 2. You've got Dante plus probably 3 Sangre Guard. You could maybe say that's a half. Dante plus 3 Sangre Guard. There's definitely units in the game that they will not kill. That's definitely not a massive melee threat. And then you've got a Captain with 3 Sangre Guard. So again, there's definitely units that they can't kill. It's not a massive melee threat. It's not bad. So we're probably, like, you could probably argue, like, Dante and the Captain plus 6 Sangre Guard. It's it's 1 in 0.25 of a melee threat. So probably you could say this list has 3.25 melee threats. I wouldn't say a Jump Intercessor unit on its own is a huge melee threat. I wouldn't say Mephiston's on his own is a melee threat in any shape of the words, because quite often he can bounce. And like I talked about the Sanguinar as well. yes, he'll pop off, but yes, he'll completely bounce and do nothing. Because I guess anything that doesn't have weight of attacks, right? Mephiston has 6 attacks. There's definitely situations where he just doesn't do anything with those 6 attacks. I mean, I had it this week when I was fighting. I think I had Mephiston against the Lord of Vigilance. I think the Lord of Vigilance had one wound left, or maybe 3 wounds. I think he had 3 wounds left. Mephiston has 6 attacks, strength 9, AP 3, D3 damage. He does 2 damage to him. Leaves him on 1 wound, right? Can't even take 3 damage off a Terminator, right? So that's the danger, I guess, in spending all these points on characters, right? Like, and there is no right and wrong on how many points you spend on characters. And there is no right and wrong on how much fire support you have in terms of, like, you've got an Executioner or Lancer, 380 points of fire support. You've got the Ball Predator, 500 points in fire support. I mean, that's probably fine. I think probably if this is my list, personally, I think I have to lose Mephiston or the Sanguiner, and I have to make one of those squads of Sanguinary Guard a 6. And I think at that point, if you lost either Mephiston or the Sanguiner, you could give that squad a get rid of Gift of Foresight, and change that to the Fight First enhancement. So you give the captain the squad of 6, and you give them Fight First. Dante can still lead as 3. You basically move yourself from like 3.25 melee threats almost up to that threshold of like 4 melee threats. You probably have too many points in characters, not going to lie with you. I wouldn't feel this many points in characters in Liberator Assault Group. I just think it's too much. Let me think. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've done a video. I'm sure I've done a video about. Was it this one? I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it. I think it was called 101. Actually, I think it was called 101, right? Maybe it was Liberator Assault Group Building 101. This is the one. Yeah, so we're talking about having the 4 melee threats. Less than 20 points, 20% of points on characters. That was my advice for building Liberator Assault Group lists. So I would say try and keep your points on characters under 400. So let's just for devil's advocate say Mephiston is the one we're going to cut. So even with cutting Mephiston, you've got 565 points on characters. So my opinion is like you are very character heavy. Characters don't win games the same way they used to, I feel like. So I think that's my main concern, I think, right? And you could argue characters are even better in the other detachment, right? Angelic Inheritors. And for example, my Angelic Inheritors list at the moment has 320 points of characters. So you are very, very high on characters, even after we cut one of them. So that's what I would advise you take a look at, Bloodlines. Good afternoon, Boris. Good afternoon, Hadley. Sorry, did I miss a question? Sorry, off topic. There appears to be a new detachment in the 40k app for Space Marines. For Father Seekers is for Salamanders. Could we do red Salamanders? We could do a video on that. Yeah, there is a new detachment. And I think the way you would want to start that detachment, honestly, is with like 30 Infernus Marines. But you know what? I haven't actually built a video around that. So maybe we could do that. That would be a cool idea. Thanks for reminding me, Real Skilling. But yeah, it's been around for a few weeks. There is some coolness in it actually. You are fine on going 20% over on characters, but 700 points is what, 35%. Like with everything I say, there's a bit of leeway. But yeah, I think if 35% of your Liberator Assault group list is characters, you are too high on characters. Because Space Marine, it's not like Space Marine characters are amazing. There's typically one guy with four or five wounds, right? Maybe 6 if you're lucky. It's you know. All right, Brewing Biscuits next. Decided to give Angelic Inheritors a go for the second time ever with the usual Inceptor Vindicators using Carmine Wrath and Sanguinary Grace. Carmine Wrath is the correct one to take. Sanguinary Grace, I can't remember, is that the right one? Angelic Inheritors. Yes, correct. Yeah, you want to be able to shoot and declare a charge on a turn which you fell back. Yeah, cool. So you've got that part right. So we've got Sanguinary Guard, Captain, and Deep Strike for Rapid Ingress. We've got Jump Intercessor and Deep Strike for actions. We've decided on Bile Predators to pair with a Strike Now strat. Strike Now strat? Is that the sustained hits? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I always just call it the sustained hits. I never call it Strike Now for glory. Okay. So we've got Mephiston, Dante, a Jump Captain, a Death Company Captain, a Death Company Captain, a Combi Weapon Lieutenant. Again, quite a character-heavy list. So we've got 3 units of Jump Intercessors. We've got 2 units of 5 Death Company. We've got a unit of Infiltrators. We've got 2 6 Sanguinary Guards. We've got 5 Scouts. And then we've got 2 Predator Destructors. You know, it's a very different Angelic Inheritors list. On the face of it, I would say, like, I am running 1 squad of Jump Intercessors in my Angelic Inheritors list, but I just want to be clear that they are for actions and not for killing, because Strength 4 Chainswords generally don't give much killing in general. So, like, while this is really strong in Liberator Assault Group, I don't think it's strong in Angelic Inheritors. I wouldn't run it myself. I don't think Strength 4 Chainswords without an extra attack, without the extra strength, are meaningful. Yes, they do some mortal wounds, but that is very swingy, and like, it's honestly not even as good as a grenade, right? If it's only 5 guys, it should statistically do 2.5 mortal wounds. Grenades should statistically do 3. So it's like having a grenade when these guys charge. It's not massive. I mean, it helps, but it's not massive. Predator Destructors are fine, but where's the... He said Inceptors. Where are they? Oh, without the Inceptors. Oh, no. Sorry. I don't think you can make Angelic Inheritors work without Inceptors. Well, maybe you can make it work, but here's the thing. No one has done so, right? The only time it's done well in tournaments is when it's got those 6 Plasma Inceptors and or the double Vindicator tanks. If you're gonna leave the Vindicator tanks out and you're gonna leave the Inceptors out, I think you're gonna make things very difficult for yourself. Also, I have dropped Dante from my Angelic Inheritors list because Dante does not give you any plus strength, and Sanguinary Guard really want that +1 strength on the charge in this detachment to get them to strength 7. Without strength 7, there's a lot of targets you just do badly against, right? Like, if you come up against enemies that have multiple toughness 12 stuff, you are only wounding on 6s with that unit. And +1 to wound makes it you're only wounding on 5s, and it's still not good enough, honestly. So this, I feel like I've had my fair share of losses with Angelic Inheritors. I've run Angelic Inheritors with Predators. I've run it with 9 Sanguinary Guard. I must admit I haven't tried Death Company and Angelic Inheritors, but I have also tried Jump Intercessors. And I have also played Dante. And there's a lot that I don't like here around that, right? Like, the jump intercessors just don't kill enough in Angelic Inheritors. Dante is not a great unit to pair with Sanguinary Guard in this detachment either, in my opinion. I mean, maybe if you're just pairing him with a 3 and you're super conscious that, like, he is not good against, or that unit is not good against high toughness stuff, and you're going to send it after low toughness stuff, it's fine. But yeah, do you know what? You're right. In a way, this is a Liberator Assault Group list. Like, this list would do fine in Liberator Assault Group. Again, you might be a tiny little bit character heavy in Liberator Assault Group, whereas in Angelic Inheritors you're probably okay character-wise because units benefit from characters. There aren't really any top-tier melee choices in Angelic Inheritors outside the Sanguinary Guard and Captains. Yeah, I think so. Blade Guard and Jump Intercessors are soft in Angelic Inheritors, so are Outriders. I mean, some people have started using Terminators in Angelic Inheritors, which I must admit I haven't tried myself. But I mean, I guess if you had a Terminator with a Chaplain, so your strength 8, +1 to wound all the time, rerolling 1s to hit, rerolling 1s to wound, that might be pretty decent, right? But again, I haven't tried that. I like a bit of speed with my Blood Angels. I mean, I say that, but I have taken Terminators to tournaments in the past. But yeah, I think this list will struggle, man. I think that you probably need to cut like 2 units of Jump Intercessors. And maybe 1 squad of this. Yeah, if this was like, to get this list back on track, I would instantly cut 2 units of Jump Intercessors and 3 Sanguinary Guard and get 6 Inceptors in, right? That would leave you like 40 points left over. You could honestly swap Dante out at that point, right? Just swap out Dante for another Jump Captain, save another 45 points, you'd have 85 points. Like, is there something you could add with 85 points that could benefit here? Unfortunately, you can't take any of those units. Yeah. You could take an Impulsor to roll onto an objective, put your scouts inside it, put Mephiston inside it. I mean, I'd be willing to do that and just have the Impulsor as a like, it's just going to sit on an objective and people are going to shoot at it, but you don't really care because something's got to die, something's got to be exposed. But yeah, this is a tough list. Like, this Angelic Inheritors, here's the thing, it's a shooting detachment. We talk about it. The best performance it ever did was like Jack at LVO, and he had like 900 points of shooting, right? My Angelic Inheritors list at the moment, which has been doing quite well, has 220 points of Hellblasters, 240 points of Inceptors, so that's like 460 points, and then 2 Vindicator tanks, which is another 370 on to 460 is 538. So I have 830 points of shooting in my Angelic Inheritors list that has done quite well. And I also have another 100-point character in there that removes cover. So arguably you could say that, like, I have 900 points of shooting. I have Intercessors as well, which are kind of a shooting unit now with their 4 shots per guy. So, yeah, this list needs more shooting. It's a big learning curve going from Angelic Inheritors to Liberator Assault Group, honestly, and I think you will struggle with that, Bruin Biscuits. Alright, let's look at this next list. Raphael Levy. I don't think I've ever seen this guy's name before. It's always nice to see a new name, so let's see what he's got. He's bringing Liberator Assault Group to the table. A Rage Fuel Captain, a Speed of the Primarch. Oh, right, you said who's leading what. Okay. A Rage Fuel Captain leading Assault Intercessors placed in reserve, rapid ingressing, and obliterating threats like vehicles. Chaplain with a jump pack, leading Death Company. Position to heroic intervene. With Dante's unit or the Death Company with 10 with Fight First. Dante is leading 6 Sanguinary Guard Deep Striking. You've got another Death Company Captain leading another 10 Death Company. Sorry, that first Death Company is a 5-man Death Company, I think. And then a Lieutenant with a combi weapon, who's obviously an action monkey. You've got 5 Assault Intercessors on foot. You've got 2 Assault Intercessors unit with the jump packs. You've got that 15 Death Company and a 5 Death Company. You've got the Plasma Inceptors. You've got Infiltrators, you've got 6, 3, and 3 Sangre Guard, and then you've got a Callous Assassin to do some Assassin CP shenanigans as well. So fairly weak in the shooting department, just that unit of Plasma Inceptors. The 10 Death Company, the 5 Death Company, the 6-3-3 Sangre Guard. So you do have quite a few melee threats and Assault Intercessors with a Rage Fuel Captain. But, you know, it feels like a real shame that you don't have an Impulsor. Because, like, on first impressions, your list has no durability whatsoever, right? Like, there is... So in turn 1, what unit are you putting... Here's the thing, right? Like, I played a tournament against Tau. In turn 1, you have to put units onto objective. If you're playing against Tau, they're just going to make you ignore cover, +1 to hit, and they're going to shoot you with so much shooting, indirect, the whole shebang. So, like, what unit in this list are you going to put onto the midfield objectives in the turn 1? That you expect to be able to survive turn 1, because if they can't survive turn 1, then there's no fucking point putting them on, because you just lost your models and you've gained no points, right? So you need to put units onto objectives that will survive turn 1, so you still hold the objective in turn 2 and get points. And you typically in turn 1, you're not going to be able to set up like for charges and stuff, so there's not going to be too much threat on enemy shooting units. So like, my first thing when I look at this list, cool, we can put our Lone Opera Lieutenant on an objective potentially, because he's got 12-inch Lone Op, but that's it, right? There's nothing else that I can just put on an objective. So if I pool like missions like Cleanse, like extend battle lines or whatever it is, that I need to be on multiple objectives, what am I doing here, right? And I think that's why I keep gravitating back to double Impulsor, because turn 1 I'm just like, yeah, Impulsors, they can go on objectives. I don't care if they die. Kill them if you can, you know, but if they don't die, I'll score points from them. So, how do we kill tanks and elites? Dante plus 6 Sangre Guard, or 10 Death Company with reroll hits, the Rage Shield Warrior. Like, yeah, I mean, how to kill basic infantry? Sure. How to kill big fight first units? Yeah, Plasmas with Oath is a good combo to deal with fight first. How to control units? How to control primary? Alright, he said he's going to use Assault Intercessors with jump packs and 3 Sangre Guard. Yeah, I mean, in essence, that makes sense, but in a map where your opponent can see you, those units can't survive a round of shooting from any sort of shooting army. Like Votan, they're dead. Tau, they're dead. Knights, they're dead. Right? Like, there's just too many units that'll just be like, yeah, we'll just lift up your 5 unit of jump packs. Doesn't matter. I mean, in fact, I played against Blood Angels in a tournament recently where I was Angelic and Inheritors, and they were Liberator Assault Group, and they put models like Jump Intercessors onto objectives, or Sangre Guard onto objectives, and I just blew them up with Vindicator tanks. Like, your big 6-man unit of Sangre Guard standing on that objective? Alright, I've just killed 5 of them with the sustained hits of Vindicator tank. Cool. I almost felt bad for the guy, because I know how devastating it is to lose 5 Sangre Guard from shooting, but that's the reality of the situation, right? The aim is having a full infantry in a meta where everybody is loaded to handle knights. I think people can kill toughness 4 Marines at a crazy rate. Right? Like, power armor and toughness 4 10 years ago was the shit. Now it's like guardsmen, right? It's not good. This list has potential to get out 2 knights per turn if needed. It has good trading units. I really disagree that it's good primary control, right? Like, I don't think you have anything in this list that you can control primary with against some of the top tier shooting armies, or even Death Guard, right? Like, I think Death Guard shoot every unit you've got in this list off the objective with probably one bloat drone. 120 points probably wipes any of these units. Maybe they need to use 2 bloat drones. Well, that's alright. I mean, they've got a 3rd bloat drone. They probably got some Plague Burst Crawlers. They probably got some Fetid Blight Haulers. You know, the list goes on, right? So, I think the units that you have are not bad. I guess you could put your Calidus Assassin on the middle objective as well, but my opinion, I think, is I need something that I can just drive out onto an objective and it actually survives a round of shooting. And I think Space Marines have nothing better or more cost effective than Impulsors. And I think your Assault Intercessor squad and captains are screaming out to be inside an Impulsor. But yeah, it does also feel like, maybe I'm feeling, maybe it's just because you've got like the 10-man Death Company and the 6-man Sanguinary Guard and the 6 Plasma. It doesn't actually feel like you have a ton of models here either, considering how few vehicles, or like you have no vehicles. It's like 500 points there. I guess it's 500. It's the best part of 500 points on Sanguinary Guard. Maybe 12 Sanguinary Guard is just too many. It just doesn't feel like you have that many bodies on the board either with this list. I don't know why. I'm just getting that feeling that, like, I don't feel like Death Company are overly expensive. Or I don't feel like Sanguinary Guard are overly expensive, but maybe there's just something not clicking with this list for me. I don't know if I've done that one justice. Maybe someone in chat can throw in their 2 cents. So if it's watched back, someone can maybe do more justice to that list than I did. All right, Phil. I've made some changes to my many dudes list. So this will be a good comparison because Phil was running a list with like 130 Marines. I think these changes could help with some of my issues within my local meta and bring more speed to the list. I swapped the Foot Death Company for Jump Death Company. I swapped the Chaplains for Death Company Captains. I dropped Infiltrators for the Combi Weapon Lieutenant to hold the backfield, and I swapped 2 10-man Assault Intercessor bricks for 2 Ball Predators and had to drop 1 unit of Scouts. Alright, let's see what we got. So we got Rage Fuel Captain, Death Company Captain with a gift, Death Company Captain on his own, and then Lieutenant. 10 Assault Intercessors, 10 Assault Intercessors, 10 Assault Intercessors, 10 Assault Intercessors. I feel like at that point that list already has more models than that last list, but maybe I'm wrong. 5 Jump Intercessors, 5 Jump Intercessors, 5 Jump Intercessors, 2 Ball Predators, 10 Jump Marines, Death Company, 10 more Jump Marines, Death Company, and a squad of Scouts. Yeah, I mean, so the Rage Fueled Captain is just with 10 guys running across the board. You know, if this was me, I would probably be willing to lose 5 of the guys and get an Impulsor for that Rage Fueled Captain. But I guess that's probably going to be super awkward with the points because, oh, excuse me, you're 2,000 points on the nose. If you'd been at like 1995 points, it would have been easy to be like, all right, we can drop 5 Assault Intercessors and get an Impulsor. So 40 Assault Intercessors on foot, 15 with jump packs, 20 Death Company with jump packs. So that is 75 Marines? The Scouts, 80 Marines, the 2 Ball Predators. I guess you can push the Ball Predators onto the objectives. A much smaller number of characters. You've got Lieutenant to maybe hold. You know, the other sad thing is that you don't have sticky objectives, man. Just drop Foresight. Yeah, alright, do you know what I would do? I would drop Foresight, take those 15 points. I would break one of these 10 Jump Intercessors into 5 regular Intercessors. Thanks for pointing this out, Hasbeen. I'd break those 1 into 5 Intercessors so that I can sticky objectives and 5... I'm sorry, and an Impulsor. Hello, Kyra. How you doing? Because that would let you sticky your home field objectives, so your Combi Lieutenant doesn't need to wait in the backfield doing nothing. He can get forward and lone op something. We potentially sticky other objectives. We also have our Rage Captain 15 inches up the board because he can get out of the Impulsor. You know, the Impulsor can move 12 and then he can disembark, or the Impulsor can advance turn 1 and that gives him like a really good staging point for getting across the board again. So I think I would change that, but I think this list has a lot of models. So then you would still have 30 jump intercessors. You still have 2 big 10-man squads of Death Company led by Death Company captains, which you could put into reserve. At least one squad. You put 1 squad of jump intercessors in reserve. You could have the scouts with the combat knives. I would prefer to play this list over your list, Phil, where you had like 130 Marines and no fire support. But I think it would be super valuable adding the Impulsor and adding the sticky objectives, right? I think that's more valuable than you can possibly get out of this Gift of Foresight, right? Lock and load. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Good evening. I hope it's you, Kenny. So yeah, I would change that. I think that's a pretty simple change. I'm sure you've got the models for that. I think that would make this list definitely a little bit stronger. And then, yeah, I mean, when you're sending wave after wave of toughness 4 Marines at the enemy, you're going to essentially get you're essentially going to lose everything, right? Like we've talked a lot about it, how toughness 4 Marines don't have tons of survivability. So you're going to be sort of war of attrition, and like you're just sending a wave of 10 or 20 jump intercessors. They'll do some damage, and then they're all dead. And then you're going to send another wave of 10 or 20 Death Company guys, and then they're all dead. So having sticky objectives while you push forward like a maniac with Red Thirst is a good idea. Having an Impulsor sitting somewhere just doing actions is also a good idea. And I don't think Gift of Foresight benefits you enough to not have that and have 10 more assault intercessors on foot. And hey, regular intercessors now with their 4 shots per turn, like 4 bolt rifles per turn or whatever it is actually not too bad at all. Like the 20 shots if you shoot the same target. AP1, you can usually hit the oath target. You've got assault. I think they've got heavy as well, regular intercessors. Did I forget this week? Because I'm pretty sure my intercessor stayed still. So I think I forgot that their ranged weapons have heavy. Yeah, I think I forgot that. So they actually hit on 2s. So you get 20 shots coming out hitting on 2s. Yeah, they're really not that bad now with their new ability. But I mean, you don't take them for the bolters. You take them for the sticky, and the bolters are a bonus, right? So that's it. That's this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. If you want your list on a future episode, you can drop it in the comments section. If you did enjoy the show, please like. If you want to join our Discord, then I'll link it in the chat right now. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And I think on Wednesday night this week, Wednesday night, we're going to get the new Votan on the channel. So I don't know all the new Votan model. I must admit, I haven't followed the new Votan stuff at all. Like, literally at all. Like, maybe I just don't care about squats or dwarves or whatever they are. Squats, dwarves. But Andrew sent me this photo. Let me see if I can see this photo. So, Capricus? Capricus? I have no idea what that is. Andrew's got all the new Votan stuff. You know Andrew. He is a filthy, filthy meta chaser. So, yeah, he's been building up the new Votan. They're probably going to be grey, but we'll give him his 10 battle points because he's bringing them on the channel week 1 or whatnot. So, should be Blood Angels versus Votan Wednesday night. I'm going to keep playing the Angelic Inheritors list that I've built and keep iterating on it for my next tournament, I guess. So, have a great evening, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week. Peace. Bye-bye.